Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the biological databases. So, biologists, researchers out there, do you have any difficulties in retrieving the informations, store the data, and knowledge discovery? If yes, perhaps it's time for you to consider and have a look on the biological databases. So, what is a biological databases? Biological databases is a database that stores the biological information such as sequences, annotations, structures, motif, and also alignments. Biological database can be classified into few categories, which are primary database, secondary database, specialized database, or database classified depending on the types of the data they contain. First category of biological database is primary database. So what is primary database? Primary database refer to the database that store sequences that are obtained from different molecular biological techniques. So we have two primary database, which are nucleotide sequence database and a protein sequence database. Let's have a look on the example of nucleotide and protein sequence database. The first one is a GeneBank. GeneBank is the database which is perhaps the best known nucleotide sequence database available at U.S. National Center of Biotechnology Informations (NCBI). So GeneBank is part of International Nucleotide Sequence Collaboration, which is comprised of DNA, Databank of Japan (DDBJ), the European Nucleotide Archive (ENA), which I'm gonna show you next, and GeneBank and NCBI. These three organizations exchange data on a daily basis. ENA stands for European Nucleotide Archive, is the counterpart to the GeneBank located at European Bioinformatics Institute (EBI). Next is DDBJ, stands for DNA Databank of Japan, which is one of the primary nucleotide sequence database. This database operates by National Institute of Genetics (NIG) in Japan and is a primary nucleotide sequence for Asia. UniProt stands for Universal Protein Resource, which is unite the information in three protein databases: SwissProt, Tremble, and Protein Information Resource (PIR). UniProt consists of three parts: UniProt Knowledge, UniProt KB, UniProt Reference Cluster Database, UniReference, and UniProt Archive, UniPR. Now we move to the second categories of biological databases, which is secondary database. Secondary database refer to the database that store annotated sequences that are obtained from different techniques. Example of secondary database are Prosite, Pfam, Prince, and InterPro. So let's have a look on each of them. First one is Prosite. Prosite is an important secondary biological database which resides at the SIBSPC. This is a database of protein domains, family, and functional site. Prosite consists of documentations entry describing protein domains, family, and functional site, as well as associated patterns and profile to identify them. Pfam. Pfam is the database containing the large collection of protein families, each represented by the multiple sequence alignment and hidden Markov models. Pfam database classified protein family according to profile, which is a pattern that evaluates the probability of appearance of a given amino acid and insertion deletions at every position in protein sequence. Next is print. Print database use fingerprints to classify sequence. Fingerprints consist of several motifs represented in prints database by a short local ungap alignments. The print database take advantage of the fact that protein usually contain functional regions that result in several sequence motifs per proteins. InterPro. InterPro stands for Integrated Resource of Protein Family, Domains, and Site. This database actually integrates important secondary database into comprehensive signature database, merging SwissProt, Tremble, Prosite, Pfam, Print, Prodome, Smart, Pfam, which allow all simple simultaneously query of this data search. The last category of database that I'm going to cover is molecular structure database, which falls under database classified on the type of the data is carried in them. The molecular structure database are Protein Databank, SCOP, CATH, and PubChem. PDB, Protein Databanks, is a database of experimentally determined crystal structure of biological macromolecule and its coordinates by consortium located in US, Europe, and Japan. And this database, probably the best known web page of PDB, is that of Research Collaboratory for Structural Bioinformatics. SCOP stands for Structure Classifications of Proteins. SCOP classify protein of non-structure in hierarchical manner. There are 3 classifications of family, superfamily, and fold. Meanwhile, another one is a CATH database. CATH database also classify proteins structure hierarchically, but into 4 categories, which are class, architecture, topology, homology, and topology and homology forms. The last one I'm going to cover is PubChem. PubChem database is at NCBI store. Small chemical molecule and informations about the biological activity, and it consists of 3 components: PubChem, compound, substance, and bioassay. So that's all from me regarding the biological database. So hopefully this may assist all of the biologists and researchers out there in their information retrieving, storing the data, and discover knowledge of the interest gene, proteins, and organisms. So thanks for listening.